All right, well, thank you so much for being here today. This is really a special occasion for me, being a member of this center. This is the first time I've given this talk in public, and I'm really thrilled to be able to do it here. This is also something I've been working on for about the last 8 years. I had an idea several years ago. While I was director of training at the Ford Institute for Integrative Coaching, as Jerry mentioned, I noticed there were lots of people coming through who had what I call religious baggage. And I'll talk more about what that is a little bit later. There were a lot of people who'd had experiences with religion that left them feeling limited. And you know what? I was one of those people too. And so I had the thought, wow, this is a whole area that nobody's even talking about. Forgiving religion, who's heard of that before? No, that's not something that we typically think about or talk about in conversation. And so this is the launch of the Forgiving the Religion, Forgiving the Church. And again, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to play with my new toy. And I also noticed that this TV, we didn't get the settings right, so all the slides are a little squishy. So people and faces and things might look a little squat and wide here. So one of the things I like to do before giving a class or a talk is to give a key point. There's something specifically that I'd like you all to walk away with today and to be able to remember. So if there's just one thing for you to remember, neat PowerPoint animation. I had fun putting this together. I hope you'll see that. Let go, make peace, forgive, and. I'm not going to fill in the and yet. That and I hope will be filled in as we move along. And who knows, if we have time, maybe I'll do a quiz at the end. See how many of you get that. The other thing I want to make clear before we get started or before we go any further is that I'm not here to make religion wrong. People who have been wounded by religion and who've been hurt by religion, it's really easy to turn all that emotion and that feeling back towards the source of the pain and to make religion wrong and to judge it. I did that for a number of years. It didn't work out that well. So what I'm really here is to do something else. And again, by the end of this talk, I hope that you'll have that figured out. I'm going to leave that open as well. See if you can decide during the rest of this talk, during this next 2.5 hours. Oh, I don't have 2.5 hours, Jerry? No. Okay. During this next 30 minutes or so, what that is. So that's me. Jerry did a great job of introducing me. I've been a life coach, a personal development trainer. I've been a business owner, a consultant, and also a spiritual teacher of many kinds for several different years. Many years. And these days, I'm a writer and a blogger. Got a blog, forgivingthechurch.com. Check it out, please, if you're interested. And author. And I am claiming author in advance because all of this is working towards the book that I'll be publishing next year. Fingers crossed. Publishing next year on Forgiving the Church or Forgiving Religion. And by the way, I'm welcome to feedback on those titles, which one of those seems to make the most sense to you. And also, I'm a living example of everything that I'm going to be talking about in this talk today. So my goal here in this room and in this project is to help the millions of people who've been hurt by religion, who've somehow been wounded or had wounding experiences and who are dragging around the past, help them to break free of that self-imposed prison. I loved what we had in the meditation this morning. I love what Rita shared in that reading about forgiveness being a practice. That was a perfect setup. Thank you, Rita. And the important thing to realize also is that when we don't forgive, we are the ones who are holding on. We're the ones who are keeping ourselves in that self-imposed prison. And so the goal is to help millions of people heal from those experiences so they can have a new future and more out of life, more freedom, more joy, more connection, be more authentic and creative. What'd I miss? More fully self-expressed. Without having forgiven the church, without having done all the forgiveness work I've done, there's no way I'd be standing on this stage today, especially talking about religion. That would be the last thing that I wanted to talk about.